So in this video we're going to go ahead and take a complete general form equation, in this case for a circle, and do the completing the square. Now as you can see we have an x squared and a 4x, actually a negative 4x, and we have a y squared and a 6y, which means we've really got two quadratics here. We're going to have to deal with both of them. So what we're going to do is solve both of those completing the square problems simultaneously as we go along here. So the first step is the same as what we did before. We're going to go ahead and just rewrite this with the 9 moved to the other side. So we're going to subtract 9, put it over here. And now what we want to do is to group the x squared with its partner over here, negative 4x. And then we'll do y squared with, this is 6y, isn't it? Let's do this. 6y. Okay. And then y squared plus 6y with a little bit of space here equals negative 9. So we're going to have to now do completing the square on both of these terms. So first we're going to get negative 4 over 2 gives us negative 2. If we square that we get 4. Right here we're going to get 6 divided by 2 equals 3. And if we square that, we get 9. And so we'll go ahead and put the 4 in here to complete the square. And then we will put the 9 in here to complete the square. Now you notice that we added a 4 and we added a 9 over here. And so we're going to need to add the 4 and add the 9 to this side as well. Okay, so these squares are now completed. We can go ahead and write them in their squared form. So we're going to get x minus 2 squared. Again, this negative 2 comes from right here. So you really don't have to worry about factoring this. You can get the information from right here. And we're going to have y plus 3 squared, the 3 from here, equals, well, the negative 9 and the plus 9 are going to cancel and we end up with 4 over here. Now I'm going to stop right here. This is actually the standard form for a circle, and we'll talk more about that in the next video. What I really want to do in this video is just get through completing the square up to the point of standard form, and then we'll discuss what the standard form is and what it tells us. So here's another circle. We'll go ahead and proceed as usual here. X squared plus 8x plus y squared, and then we'll move the negative 20 to the other side by adding 20. Let's group up our x squared plus 8x. And you notice that y squared is out here all by itself. So we're going to carry the y squared through just by itself, but when it's all said and done, we're going to see how we really want to format this to put it into the standard form. Okay, so over here we've got 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. We're going to square the 4. That's going to give us 16. And so we can write this side x squared rather plus 8x plus 16 plus y squared equals 36. Factor this guy. Okay, we're going to have the plus 4 from here plus y squared equals 36. So now we've completed the completing the square, and this is almost in standard form. What you're going to notice about standard form on all 4 of these conics is that we're going to have parentheses with x plus a number, x minus a number inside. And what we really want is the same thing with y. In other words, we want y plus a number, y minus a number. So I'm going to just make a slight adjustment here. And instead of just y, I'm going to put y plus 0 and square it. So nothing's changed here because y plus 0 is the same as y, and then I'm squaring both of them. But now I've got y with a number inside of the parentheses, which we'll see shortly is going to be important for using the standard form for graphing the conic shape. Here's a parabola. We know it's a parabola because it has no x squared term, has only a y squared term. So we'll go ahead again with moving the 8 now to the other side. Y squared plus 4x minus 4y equals negative 8. Let's group this together. We've got the negative 4y over here. We'll bring it up with the y. We have a 4x sticking out here and a negative 8. All right, we're going to have negative 4 divided by 2 is equal to negative 2. We square the negative 2, we get 4. Y squared minus 4y plus 4 plus 4x equals negative 8 plus 4. This is now y minus 2 squared plus 4x equals negative 4. Now, standard form for a parabola has the squared term on one side, so x minus something, y minus something, and it has the other term on the other side of the equal sign. So in other words, what I'm going to do is move the 4x to the other side by subtracting it. And I want to write it like this with the x first, because now what I have to do is factor out whatever number is in front of the x here, okay, because I want just x plus or minus a number inside the parentheses. This negative 4 is causing me not to have just an x. So if I take the negative 4 out, okay, I have to also take the negative 4 out from here. You'll see in a second, I'll show you why that's true. If I were to distribute this negative 4 back into this, this would give me negative 4x, and this would give me, I made a mistake here, get my eraser, this should be 1, sorry about that. Okay, so the negative 4 with the x gives me negative 4x, and the negative 4 with the 1 gives me negative 4. So when you're factoring a set of terms, you have to pull the common factor out of every term that you're working with. Okay, so that's why this is negative 4 times x plus 1. And so again, what's important here is that I have parentheses with y plus or minus a number, parentheses with x plus or minus a number, and then it turns out that this is going to be an important number for us in the standard form as well, the number outside. Here's another one. Now this parabola, this says u/d, up, down. And it's up and down. We know it's up and down because the term that we have, the squared term, is x. And that tells us that it's up and down. If I go back to this slide right here, we see that this is a left-right parabola. This is going to open to the left or to the right. And we know that's true because we have y squared here. So as we go farther along, we'll see that relationship and how we can tell that from the equation. So completing the square here, getting to be pretty routine, hopefully. Move the constant to the other side. Let's group everything together. We've got the y kind of by itself out here like we did before with the 4x. Divide this by 2. Square. All right, and now this is going to be x squared minus 4x. We're going to take this 4, add it here, and we'll add it to this side as well. Factor this down using this number right here, x minus 2 squared minus y equals 1. So again, I want x minus 2 in parentheses on one side and y plus or minus a number on the other side. So we'll move y over to the other side by adding it. X minus 2 squared is now going to be y plus 1. Now normally I would just leave it like this, okay, y plus 1, but for my standard form I actually want to factor out the 1 here. So this is something we don't normally do. We don't normally show a 1 times. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and do it because, again, this number right here is going to be part of what we want to get from our standard form.